It's funny how everything I can think of as special powers, it's to make things quiet and peaceful. Um,
What's going on, y'all? This is Paranoid Grower. I have a special guest with me today. He is a grow me in the community. He's also the co-host of The Circle on Your Average Grow, also known as YAG. I read a quote from J. Reed Markhammer recently, and I thought of you. The quality of a father can be seen by the goals, dreams, and aspirations he sets not only for himself, but for his family. Howlingbuds, welcome to the show.
wow. Thanks for that. And thanks for having me.
You're welcome, sir. What are we smoking on today, sir?
I am not smoking on anything except for sipping on some Dunkin' Donuts coffee made at home. That's it. I wish I could smoke in the morning. And I would say I really miss, one of my early memories of starting to smoke, which was also a few years ago, is enjoying a cup of coffee with amnesia haze. And it's just like, at that time, it was just a great combination, but I've noticed something with my endocannabinoid system has changed over the last couple of years. Probably mentally, I've changed too. And it's just in a state where if I smoke in the morning, it just kind of sets the wrong tone for me. I wish I was one of those wake and bake type people. And I don't smoke until usually 8 or 9 o'clock at night if I do. And
Wow.
And that's it, because I wish it didn't touch the lazy part of my brain, and it does. I also I have bad anxiety no matter what. And I have which I still have to try a mixture of things like CBG and CBD and flower as well, and see if that can tone it down. But no matter what I smoke, broadleaf, narrowleaf, it doesn't matter. I get some anxious effects. So I typically avoid it a lot of times because I don't want to go through that crap for a half hour. But more so, it's just that I get this pressure at the top of my head, and it just kind of just makes me, I don't know, not want to do anything. I don't want to go to sleep or anything. It's just like, I'm just done. I'm just not going to, I have no motivation to do something. And I hate that. I have too much stuff to get done. So yeah, it's usually once the dogs are settled down and the kid is in bed, they can be like, all right, now it's time to hit that broadleaf. I can sink down on the couch a little bit. Although the last 2 weeks, I've been on a little bit, just not intentional. It just has happened. I've been on a little hiatus. I think I've maybe only smoked 3 nights out of the last 2 weeks, maybe. I don't know what it means for me. I still love growing. I find that quite enjoyable, but my consumption has definitely changed.
Yeah, I can understand that as the older you get.
Yeah. Are you smoking on anything this morning?
Actually, I'm smoked right before I got in here. I can't smoke in the house. I'm temporarily staying with my dad until I get my new house. So I did smoke on some Strawberry Widow from Green Guy Genetics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a tester for the Strawberry Widow, and I've really enjoyed it so far. It definitely gets you stony. So even trying to write the notes this morning, I was like, I kept getting lost. I was like, wait a second, focus, dude, focus. You can do this.
If I was alone, I think I would really enjoy it if, and I probably should go on a little retreat sometime where I just have a half day or something to myself, alone, quiet and peaceful, and just get a little of this stony, maybe get a book or something, maybe go fishing and just have it to myself. I think that'd be pretty fun.
Heck yeah, that would be a lot of fun. What'd you get into this weekend?
What did I do? Killed some pepper plants.
Oh no.
Well, they're not dead yet, but I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest. I started some of these hot pepper plants because Sam Souse got us all kind of riled up about them. And in my true nature, I went overboard and started way too much stuff. Didn't have any. I had hopes and dreams of what I was going to do, but in reality, I just don't. It's not that I don't have the time. I can do that. I think like I said, I think mentally I'm battling some things with anxiety where I get this like paralysis of deciding what to do. Like I have too many things to do and I can't decide what to do then.
Right.
And the peppers are kind of on that list. And so they're suffering because they're not screaming at me and needing something immediately. So I prioritize other things. But they're sitting out. So they were in a tent inside, and then I we had some warm weather, which we learned was just a trick on us. Had some warm weather. I was like, oh, okay, I'll acclimate them outside. We're getting ready. And I should have took Sam's advice. Like he doesn't even put peppers out until like mid-June. I'm like, nah. This is like end of May. I got time. It's warm here. And sure enough, after like the first day, the temps, like everything about the forecast changed and it got super cold. So I brought them into my garage and they've been under a grow light. Thankfully, I have quite a graveyard of grow lights to run through. And they've just been kind of on the struggle bus a little bit in there. Not like, well, I wouldn't say struggling. They're not thriving. They're just they are what they are. Right. They're in half-gallon pots. And so yesterday I'm like, well, we got the heat now. It's like 100 degrees out and it sucks. So I'm like, I'll put them in the shade in front. And sure enough, even just being in the shade, that heat just tore them up. The heat and wind, and we get a lot of wind around here because even though I'm near Chicago, I live in a suburb far enough away where there's not many tall buildings. So the wind's not blocked and it just gets super windy around here. I have not looked at them this morning, but I know last night when the sun was going down, I was looking at them. I was not hopeful that they're going to still be sitting there this morning. So we'll see. I don't know what I'm going to do, but that's kind of the thing I was focusing on this weekend a little bit is trying to give them a home. I set up 3 20-gallon pots outside. I had the hopes of transplanting them. I don't know what Mother Nature did to them and if they're even going to be worthwhile. So I'm going to check it out after this. That's probably like outside of normal stuff. That's probably the only thing like growing related I got into this weekend.
I'd say that this weekend for me, I ended up buying a camper and a 4-wheeler.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a big weekend.
Yeah. I sold my house recently and I saved some of the money. And I wanted to get a few things like the camper. I'm going to Muddy Roots Music Festival with Grateful.
Oh yeah,
in August, and last year I went with him. I drove every day, which was 99 miles one way, and I did that back and forth for 3 days. And I'm like, I'm not doing that again.
That's rough after the show.
Jeez. Yeah. Oh yeah, because we weren't getting done till midnight, and then I wouldn't get home till like 1:40 in the morning, and I'm like, I'm not doing that again. So.
Where's Muddy Roots at again?
It's like 20 minutes north of Cookeville, Tennessee.
Okay.
Just way out in the country.
And do they have a campground where you can park your trailer? Or
yeah, they offer free camping. The only thing is they don't offer like electricity to your site. So I mean, if you want something, you either have to run off gas or get a generator.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's really nice being able to camp out where you're at the festival, and luckily where they set up at is right near the stages. So all we have to do is walk up the hill, and we're right there by 2 of the stages.
Oh,
which is super convenient.
When does the festival start during the day?
Honestly, I don't know when it starts in the morning. I didn't get out there till like 3:00 in the afternoon each day that I went, but it goes until like after midnight.
Well, that's nice. That's actually pretty exciting to be so close, and you just trying to turn it into like a whole weekend type thing. And if you need to get away for a little bit, you have a place right there that you can go hide away. That's pretty neat. I like those kind of like destination concerts.
Oh, for sure.
It's just like a whole full experience. I've never done that before, but I've done the festival going to and from each day, and that really stinks. But being right there, especially like it sounds like from what I know of you and Grateful, like you really get into that experience of Muddy Roots, and that's awesome. Like that's just kicking it up a notch.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know how you top it after this. I mean, you got a camper right there. I don't know how you top that, but
Yeah, I think we're trying to top it by bringing or getting all these extra Gromies in the community to come to this music festival. I think that's how we're trying to work it out.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because there was K-pop. He came the year before I did, and he's coming back again this year.
Uh-huh.
And Matt Fratt was supposed to come, but there's so many events in September that he had to pick and choose, which I can understand that.
Yeah.
Because it is money. There's every event you got to spend some dollars, so it's just part of it.
I'm hoping that they don't. I mean, what's a ticket price for a weekend usually go for?
At the
Muddy Roots.
Muddy Roots, I think it's like right now. I think it's 170 for the whole weekend. But like right before the event, it jumps up to like 200 because that's what I did last year. I didn't, Grateful invited me. And it was like only a few months before the event. So I paid the late, the $200 ticket. But this year I got the lower amount because I bought it well in advance.
Well, that's not bad at all. I forget. I haven't looked at the prices in forever just because huge crowds I don't do too well in them. But like we have Lollapalooza here, and if I recall, it's like a couple $100 a day to go to that thing. So $170, even $200 if you wait last minute for the weekend. That's a good time right there.
Right. Have you ever been to Lollapalooza?
One time, got close enough to where I was like, I am not for this. I am leaving. It's just and it just gets worse each year. Well, it was getting worse. I don't know if it's still this way, but it's usually hot. It's a lot of people. It's sweaty and messy and too many personalities in one place that don't always act the greatest. They get like drunk and act like fools, and I'm not for that. So
I understand.
I absolutely if I do an outdoor concert, we have a place. Maybe it's 15 minutes from me. This venue that has like a covered seating area, but has a huge lawn section. And on a lot of concerts, you can usually carve out your little spot in that lawn section and not be like right up against anyone. So you can kind of be away. So I really like that, where you just put down a blanket and you just sit there and it's pretty peaceful. But I'm more of a small indoor venue, intimate type person when it comes to shows. I like to watch the musicians play. I like to see them do their thing, and I've listened to the music. I don't need to hear it. I like to see them in the moment doing it, and so I like to get up close. And so that's why the smaller venues are pretty nice, because once you get like to some of these venues and you're far away, and it's like, yeah, I can kind of make out that they're playing an instrument, but it's like, I like to watch the people play. I don't think I would. Lala was not for me. I stopped going to like those type of multi-day, many performer type venues. It just gets kind of nuts.
I get it. I completely understand.
And and it's in the city. You can't really park a camper right there and
walk up a hill to it. Yeah, my luck, I'll park the camper out there and it'll be towed within the first hour.
So it probably would change my mind if I was experiencing it the way that you and Grateful are going to do it. That would definitely change my mind. Because if I get a little overwhelmed or I don't like it, I go back to the camper and chill for a little bit. And I'm sure that's kind of like, it's going to be like, I'm sure the campground turns into like a secondary party or gathering, community gathering there, as people that don't want to be all up in near the performers, they come back there and they hang out. It's kind of like tailgating at a concert. And
right.
That's pretty cool.
Yep, absolutely. Well, we'll go ahead and get into the topic of why we're here. So we met up at the meeting of the G's in 2024 at JSAWS in Chicago, Illinois. And I would like for you to give a brief description of your experience with the meeting of the G's.
It was, it's kind of funny. I had a lot more anxious energies beforehand because it's just meeting new people, but that it didn't really feel like it when you got there. It was just like, oh, hey, it's Badger, it's Stony. It's like, oh, okay. And it was just like after you got past like the 10-second introduction, it was just like, all right, we're cool. We're just hanging out like we normally do. And so it was extremely welcoming. Jason was a great host. So was his wife. And it helped that they brought the best pizza in the world there. It was great and welcoming. We just got to enjoy. We got to just sit around and share. I think that was the biggest thing. I don't get that opportunity as much, almost never. Just to have people that enjoy sharing what they have created or grown or made. I was sad that I couldn't enjoy it more because I was driving and my tolerance was already shit to begin with. So I wasn't pushing it. And there was at some point where things were being passed around and especially when it was Badger's hash getting passed around. And I'm just like, son of a bitch. Like, this sucks. Like, the smells were good in there. I didn't get to enjoy them as much though. I did try his hash once and it was absolutely wonderful. And I knew that I could not indulge any more on it. And then I think it was it Back Nine Bandits? What's the Alabrije mixed ratio? Balanced Katuga.
I actually brought that.
Oh, you brought it? Oh, that
yes.
Put me in such a nice little lull. Like I was just like, oh, this is nice. And I didn't even hit it that much. And it was a very calming like that. So that's where I know, like for my system, I need to find more mixed ratio type stuff.
Right.
And that just put me in a very mellow mood. And even though like I was sad I didn't partake more, I kind of didn't want to as much either. I was just kind of like in that spot. It was just like, this is cool. I can sit here for a while. So that was quite enjoyable. It was just a great time to hang out with people that are like-minded and just everyone just wants to share what they feel passionate about or what they have put their heart into doing. And I think that was a pretty special thing. I've been in places where someone brings a baggie or something like, hey, I got this. And let's share. And like, that's one thing that's cool. For actually being around people that grow and that feel passionate about growing, it was a different energy. And I really enjoyed that.
For sure.
That's why I'm really excited for the Alabrije pop-up in September when everyone's coming, because I'm sure there'll be a lot of sharing there.
Oh, yeah.
So I definitely dig that vibe. I can get pretty intense with some of how deep I go into some things, and to find out like I'm around other people that get just as intense and passionate about it. It's like, yeah, that's really awesome. Like, it's like not everyone gets into the same aspects of growing like I do, but we all just generally feel very strongly about it. And I definitely want something like that more. That was just wonderful. It'd be nice next time being in a spot where I can consume more of what people brought, but
right.
It was definitely enjoyable either way.
Awesome. Well, one of the great things about you coming is you brought goodies with you and you gave for everyone, which was super convenient for all of us. Because for me, the only thing I had on me, which I felt terrible about, because I didn't get to like really share the flour. The only thing I did was like roll joints out of mine was the Balanced Katuga, but I only had 1 ounce left.
Okay.
Because I was in between harvests and I was like, well, at least going to bring an ounce to share with everybody. But you had like these little baggies. I know you had was it blueberry sauce?
I think there was blueberry. Yeah, there was blueberry sauce in that mix.
Yeah. There was a few others. Yeah, so that was super nice being able to get that goodie bag from you. Everybody was tripping about all the flour that you had brought.
It was really, I finally had a chance. Like, I have a couple close people besides my wife, like outside of my family, I have a couple close people that I share with, but not that frequently. And so it was really nice that I could say I have quite a variety here, and it was just nice that I was able to share that and be able to. So I felt quite privileged to be in that position, and yeah, I wanted everyone. I hope I hope that everyone at least found one thing in that bag that they liked. I couldn't ask for anything more than that, and just super happy. Like again, it goes back to like that. Just you put that dedication into growing and just being able to share it out. It was just felt great to be able to do that.
Well, something else is you mentioned Stoney. This was actually the first time you met Stoney in person.
It was.
Yeah, and then how long y'all known each other before y'all met in person?
Let's see. So that was December. I think December marked 2 years of recording or so.
Right.
I think. I have a terrible memory, but I think that's about what it was. So yeah, that's how long, and we've known each other. And I live 45 minutes to an hour from him. I live 15 to 20 minutes from Jsaw. It just shows how little I get out of my house to go see people because I never met either one of them before.
Right.
And so that was the first time. So it was really cool to just put more of a physical appearance to the personality I get to talk to online or on the podcast. And so it was just nice to get to meet him, nice to get a hug from him.
Yeah, that was an awesome moment to see y'all hug.
Yeah.
Like I knew how genuine that was just for the fact that that was the first time y'all met and y'all already had that close relationship for so long. Yeah,
it just felt normal. Like it just felt like, and I grew up in a time before the internet, and I grew up as the internet was coming around. So online, like socializing with people online was just something I started from the beginning. And so I'm used to having online conversations and friendships. Like back then, I guess I call them friendships, but in hindsight, it was just like, it wasn't much. But these are like truly friendships that I didn't realize how much was being cultivated in our community until like I got to see people in person. It's like, oh fuck, yeah, it really is. I mean, it felt as if we were always friends and seeing each other all the time, even though it's always been through a screen. It just felt normal, and not just for Stoney, but for everyone. So it was pretty interesting to see that after spending a couple of years of only talking through a computer and a microphone. So I'm really excited to get to see, not only more people from the community, but I get to see my other co-hosts in September. So there'll have to be a big group hug there.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to get a picture of that. Didn't you bring some concentrates?
No. I did.
Yeah. I couldn't remember what it was.
West Coast Tucadillo.
Yes.
That was so far, I think out of any rosin. So I only press flower. And so it always, I'm not that skilled at doing it. So it always comes out a little darker, a little dirtier than what I've seen others produce, but that's just what it is. But this West Coast Tucadillo, I think overwhelmingly was some of the better stuff I've pressed. And to the point where like, that's all that my wife was smoking for a while. And she has like a super high tolerance, but she was like sipping on it. It was like, it just hit in the spot. And honestly, all those marathon crosses I ever did are like that. And I was like, I'm stealing one of your jars. Like, I'm sorry, right? I gotta bring it. I'm like, I'll bring back home what's left, but I gotta bring it. So I brought that. That one is probably the only flower rosin that I've ever been even remotely proud of. So it was great to bring that and see how other people liked it. And it got passed around a couple times, so they didn't hate it. They hit it again. So
no, we actually put it in Jsaw's the Carta 2.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience.
I wish we had more of that. I am definitely like, we got Flam, who is the what would you call him? The ambassador of Marathon OG. He
Right,
like that's
right.
all he talks about, everything about it. And I definitely think that they're after experiencing the 3 crosses from Alabrije, which is my only experience so far with Marathon. I absolutely see what he's talking about. And so I have quite a few other crosses of Marathon OG, and I have the Midnight Marathon, which I think is the purple pheno of Marathon OG. And there's going to be at some point I'm running all of those crosses again. I'm going to run some Marathon OG. Like I'm going to just do a whole tent of it. It that is also one, like if I understood what goes on with my system, I think that there is something in that hits well. It's me. You definitely get like the effects of the other parent at first, like with West Coast Ticudillo. I think that's tangy with Marathon.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
I forget, but whatever the other parent is, you get hit with that first for a little bit, and then the Marathon hits in, and it just kind of levels you out and smooths things out, and it's just this very mellow, comforting kind of almost hug type thing. And all of them are like that, like Chem Labrada, West Coast Ticudillo, and the Blues Amiga are all like that. You get a unique effect at the beginning, and then that mellowness at the end. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad I got to share that one.
Oh, for sure. And then something you mentioned earlier is that you got to try some of Badger's Super Sun God hash that, from Green God Genetics.
Yeah, I was so nervous about that because it's like smoking hash in front of Badger is like going to Japan and eating sushi in front of like a 3-star Michelin sushi chef. It is nerve-wracking. Because I also don't have experience with different consumption methods or anything. I've only been smoking for a couple of years, so it's all pretty new for me. And then you have hash from him, and you're smoking it out of his cheese bowl with his device. It's like, shit, I am going to fuck this one up bad. So it was very nerve-wracking to do that in front of him. And just to, you're kind of being watched the whole time. And it's like, damn it. And it's like, I'm taking this like super hot thing and like just getting the heat kind of near it to start bubbling and getting the vape. It's just, I'm like, all I kept on telling myself is, Greg, like, don't stick it straight in there. Don't stick it straight in there. Just get it near it. Don't screw this whole thing up and clog it up. And, but it was a very, it was not harsh. Like the vapor that comes off it, it's not harsh or anything. It's
smooth.
Not that I'm one to like cough much to begin with, but it didn't even really like tickle. It was just, it kind of reminded me a bit of I used to like to smoke hookahs back in the day, and it's just this, and it's not harsh or anything. It's warm air almost that just kind of enters you with a nice little fragrance to it. And that's what it kind of reminded me of. And that's the thing I wish I could have indulged more, because I think I only scratched the surface of what the feelings of it could be. And I really need, even for me, I should have went in like 1 or 2 more times with it. So I'm hoping that I'll get a chance to try that again.
Absolutely. Yeah, hopefully he's going to bring some to Alabrije's pop-up. So
I sure hope so.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And I wish he is with that. So I am really big into perfecting crafts. If you're really passionate about a craft or a hobby, my personality does well, like just really wants to get all into it and know as much as I can and to improve anytime I can with it. And I see what he has put into that and his knowledge and the knowledge he shares everywhere about it. I wish I had these skills and patience for doing that. And I always tell myself, like, oh, you grow this plant, you know what? You should probably save it and try to make some hash out of it or something. And it's just like, I get scared. And I'm like, it's just, I'm going to ruin a whole plant. I'll do something wrong. And I don't have the years and decades of experience that Badger does. not to make him seem old or anything, but he has a lot of experience behind him with this craft. And it's great to see anyone put any kind of heart or time into, but then you're like, that just aged for a couple of years. You did not touch that thing for a couple of years. There's people that don't even get crap out of dry before they're starting to smoke it. And you just spent years doing that. Not to mention all the time put into aging it and sifting it and doing all those things. But then you let it sit. I would have to put it in a time capsule buried in my yard. And
Same.
I tried this. I used to brew beer, and the styles I like to consume and brew were ones that were better if they aged in the bottle for like a year. I never got that far. I never could. My patience and I always would tell myself, like, just a little bit. Let's see how it is now. And the next thing I know, by the time when I should have waited, it's all gone. And it's like, damn it.
Yeah. I'll say something about that. I went up to Badgers a few years ago and made hash with them. And the Temple Ball that I brought home, I only aged it for 7 months because I was like, I couldn't wait. Like, I needed it at the time. Like, I had no flour. So I was like, I got to have something. And all I had was the Temple Ball. And I talked to Badger about it because I felt so bad. And he was like, no, it's okay. He's like, I understand your situation. You're okay. Don't be hard on yourself. Just go ahead and do it, and just to see what it's like. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I did, and it worked out perfect for me. And the good thing about it is I was able to share it with, my friends from July all the way up to February, because we finished the ball in February at my birthday. And, there was a lot of people in there in between that got to try the hash, and they were just all blown away.
It's a different experience. And if that's what you learn to prefer smoking, it's going to be a very experience and time intensive habit that you're developing.
Right.
But it's a different experience. I recommend anyone that likes to consume needs to try that method with that product. It is very unique. Out of what limited things I have tried, it is by far the most unique one that I can still remember. I can pick it out. Like, I couldn't remember strain to strain, joint to joint or anything, but that I can remember that.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, it also helps the intentions and the environment that I got to try it with. It's the whole memory, but the product itself was exceptional. And I definitely recommend anyone that can, if they know someone, if they want to make it themselves, great. If they know someone, awesome. Beg them to try it one time. It's hopefully it's life-changing for them to try it and just see that intention over years put into it.
Right. Well, I know you also mentioned the pizza, but I'm actually going to ask you this question instead. So what's your pizza preference, considering you are surrounded by some of the best pizza restaurants in the world?
I'm going to go against Chicago, and I'm going to say actually one of my favorite pizzas it came from Vermont and not Chicago.
What?
Yeah. It goes back to intention, and I would say maybe it's tied for number one. My oldest son lives in Vermont. And so I've been out there to see him, and it's a chain, but this one particular location is very family oriented. It's a wood fired grill, flatbread pizza type place, but that's not what makes it. I mean, wood fired pizza is awesome to begin with, but what makes it unique is everything, even on their menu, everything came from farms within a very small radius of that location. So, and they even tell you what farms, like the sausage came from, the cheese came from. So, and they source all locally. And so I think it's that intention that's behind it. Not all of them are like this. Like, I've been to one in Vermont in another town that was just more like a chain place, and it was really good, but it did not pull from the community like this one place did. And you just get to sit out. And it kind of again goes back to the environment I had it in, is enjoy this crispy flatbread locally made pizza sitting by a campfire looking at a mountain. It's just like, how can I beat this? But for Chicago, I think I miss a pizza that's from the town I used to live in a few years ago. And it's like this old, and maybe it's because it was my mom's favorite when she was alive. And there is something to be said about the seasoning a pizza oven goes through, because they have been in that location. They were in that location for decades, and their pizza always had so this took it to an extreme. Like the biggest joke is like, no one understands the square cut tavern style pizza. I think it's the most genius thing ever, because I like finger food. I like things I can pick up in small pieces and grab and go and socialize and walk around. I just grab piece by piece. I don't have this big like taco shaped slice. And they took it to extreme. Their slices were even smaller. That's how they always cut it. It's just this like maybe 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch size pieces. They're pretty small. In the middle, at least, they were pretty small, and it just had this unique flavor to it. And I was really sad that, and it has to be like, when it's like that, it has to be pepperoni or sausage. I do not do straight cheese. Typically, it has to be some kind of meat on there. I don't like all the extra veggies and stuff. I'll eat it, but I just give me a normal pizza with a meat on there, and I'm good. And unfortunately, some years ago, their one of their pizza ovens caught, or something around. I don't know if it was their pizza oven or something on the wall with the pizza ovens caught fire, destroyed all the pizza ovens. They rebuilt, never was the same again.
Oh my goodness!
Same company, same recipes, whatever. But because those pizza ovens were gone, it never ever tasted the same. And there's at least one or two. There's a couple other of the same brand pizza places that, like, there's one that's maybe 15 minutes from me. They all taste different from each other, and none of them taste like that original one. And so it's just so disappointing. There was just some flavor to it, and it just goes to show, like, that equipment gets seasoned over time, and I don't know what seasons it. I don't know. I don't know, but there was definitely something from it, because if I recall, like, there was a news article about it, and they bought like all the same equipment again, but just never was the same. So that is my go-to pizza is a thin crust tavern style with a meat on it. And if I had to pick from where, I'll go back in history, and I would go back to that place when they still were making it. Wow.
Yeah, that tavern style was pretty good. I'm so glad that Jason's wife went and picked that up.
It's a shame. Like, when people come and visit Chicago, they all think about the big cheesy deep dish.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. That's like, what I thought. I did.
They're good. Yeah. They're okay. They're a very indulgent, heavy thing. But that's not pizza. Right. And it's a shame. Like, that's the tourist attraction. That's where, like, I hate it when we would get one of my former jobs, we would get some people from out of town that would come in, and my boss is like, "Oh yeah, let's take you to the Giordano's, the deep dish place." It's like, no, don't do that. Like, that's not good. But that's what some people get in their heads is Chicago pizza, and that's why they come here, or why they want to consume pizza here. And it's like, okay, actually, I think everyone should come to Chicago and try both. Like, enjoy both. Don't come for one or the other. I mean, if you had to come for and only can consume one, get the tavern cut. But otherwise, consume both. Right. And they're great. And I have not found a place that offers both that are well done. It's either one or the other.
Yeah.
So find the two good places, and that's it. And I think we're going to, at the Alebrije pop-up, I think Pequod, I think is the name. Pequod.
Yeah. We had Pequods. Badger and I went to Pequods the day after meeting of the G's, and tried that.
Which do you like more?
Honestly, I like them both equally. Well, because I'd never had tavern style pizza before. That was my first time. I had, like, flat crust or whatever, but it's not the same. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
And I liked the ease of eating the pizza because it has the small pieces, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The other, you pretty much had the Pequods, you have to eat it with a fork, and you know, like, I mean, unless you're a man enough to pick it up and eat it, which, I mean, you're gonna get it all over yourself, but that's part of the experience, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Honestly, it's equal for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool that you got to experience both, because I mean, going back to, I think it's when I said, like, you can't get the two different styles from the same place. You got to experience probably what is the best of each of those styles from places that do it very well.
Right.
So yeah, and they're just completely different beasts.
Right.
But you feel heavy after like a deep dish. It's just,
Oh, for sure.
it's a lot my problem is that I can't stop at one slice. I need at least two. And that second one really puts you over the edge.
Dude, I did 3 pieces.
Oh no.
And then we got in the car and drove back to Detroit. It was like a 4-hour drive. I struggled there for like the first hour trying to stay awake because I was like, nodding off and stuff. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get into your garden. What do you have currently going on in your garden?
Let's see here. So I have a 4x4 that has 2 plants in it right now. It's Mass Medical's Blue Lotus, and it's Sin City's Blue Power. No shock, I love blue things. I mean, that's another thing. Trying to figure out what works well for me. It's anything that has like any blue in it. Even in the name, there's just something that is blue, and it's a very calming effect for me. And so I got both of those going. One of the things I'm trying to find, a lot of breeders claim this. They're like, we got the original blueberry here, and we've hunted it. I'll still try to grow it. I don't know what the original blueberry strains were like, but I'll try to grow it out and see what that person's representation of it is. And so Mass Medical, I think with their Blue Lotus, like, claim they've been hunting in, like, that is as close as they can remember as the original blueberry that they have found. So I definitely want to try that. And then the Sin City Blue Power, I think, is very similar. Less blueberry lineage to it, if I recall, but there is like blueberry terps to it, or berry terp. So that'll still be good. I actually I was going to grow originally how I got into looking at Sin City is I was going to grow the cinnamon cookies. I am a cookies whore. I like cookie strains. That's what got me smoking. I do like it. So I was like, all right, I'll try the cinnamon cookies. And at like the last minute, I'm like, but I can make this the blue team tent. I'm like, all right, I'll go with Blue Power. And that's just blue in the tent. And so they're in their I think today's day 22 of flower. Great looking plants. Quite happy with how that's turning out. But now they're just kind of on autopilot. When you're running photo periods at this stage, and they're out of the stretch, they're doing their bud set. It's just make sure they're watered, make sure they get some food, and they're just kind of on their way. They're kind of like just a teenager at that point. They can take care of themselves and just stay out of their way. Just shove food at them once in a while. And then so then I have 2 2x4s. One has Ellerbee Hayes 90 micron crossed with Tangy Rainbows photo period, running in a 1 gallon. But it's a beast. It's pretty big. And the whole intent of that one is to hopefully have some flower to share at the pop-up. Hopefully it's a lot of pressure. I'm hoping that I have some. It seems to be doing well so far. But it's also that got flipped to flower at the same time as the 4x4, so it's like day 22. And then the other one just started up recently. I have a week-old seedlings in there. I will not mention the breeder, but I'm calling them sludge berries. And it's a spiteful grow that I'm doing with G3 from Cultivation Conversation. We each have our own breeders and strains that we want to grow, but we're a little spiteful about. So we decided I got roped into doing a spiteful grow. Her and I both work better when we have that kind of little angst to us when we're doing something. Right. So we're doing some spiteful grows. That's what this is going to be. They're doing great so far. I mean, they're like a week in, and one of them's already starting to throw 3-finger leaves after a week. So that's pretty cool to see. Although I don't think that's the one I'm going to keep. I popped 2. I'm only going to keep 1 in there. But that's kind of right now on the solo cup cruise control for a couple of weeks until they get too temperamental in there and they'll be transplanted in the bed. That's what, and then that's what's growing. And then I think what I should do today, I have Night Owl's photoperiod tester, which is Hippie Slayer crossed with Durban Poison. I think that's dry and has been sitting in the dry tent for a few extra days because I like to kind of go to 21 days or so before I either jar them up or put them in a tote. So I think I probably should go process that today. I probably won't. I tell myself that now. I have a lot of caffeine in me right now, so everything I can do. But once I'm done with this, we'll see what happens. That's what's. Do you have anything exciting going on in your gardens, or are you growing anything right now?
So technically, I have a buddy of mine growing. Some stuff for me because I couldn't bring anything here. It's jet fuel. It's basically Badger's Cut. Mm-hmm. And then also I got a Bruce banner from Flam a few months ago. It's still in veg. So it's, I figured I'll just, once I get to my new place and build up my new grow room, I'll go ahead and flower them out. Do you have
a new place already picked out? Or
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I close on July 2nd. So I'm now just waiting for that.
And is it a place that you'll have like a dedicated room for growing?
Yeah. So I bought it's only a 1-bedroom home, but it came with a 50 by 40 shop.
Okay.
And there's a paint booth inside it, and I was just going to convert to paint booth. And
oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be really neat.
It already has exhaust on it and everything, so there's really not a whole lot I have to do to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to at the moment. And then eventually I'm going to get into trying to do some outdoor stuff. Just because I've been doing outdoors for a few years at my house, or my old house now. But I was surrounded by trees, so I was only getting light at certain parts of the day. So the fruits and the vegetables weren't, plentiful. I would get, a partial harvest, and I was like, no, I know I could do better than this. So I just need more light.
Now, where you're going to be, are you allowed to? Is it prohibition land, or are you
prohibition land? Yep.
That stinks. I was going to ask if you could grow outside. I wish I could grow like an autoflower outside or something. That would be pretty awesome. But even though with a medical card here, we can grow, the outdoor, the laws around it are so silly, and basically you can't grow or consume within public view, and public view could be either seeing it or smelling it.
Right.
And public does mean your neighbors. And so my yard, my fence line, I share my fence line with like 6 neighbors. And so there's just no way I could ever grow outside without one of them seeing. So that stinks. I would like to at least try. I don't know if it would be for me. I don't know if I would like to deal with all the pests and the mold pressure and stuff, but it'd be fun at least one time to get, especially when like you see some of these outdoor plants and if you give them like 50 gallons of soil, just seeing what they could do. And it'd be like, that'd be pretty awesome to have a big old bush out there.
For sure.
But yeah, Illinois makes sure that you don't have too much fun doing that.
Oh, I could get that. Yeah. Well, I have some growing questions for you.
Yeah.
How long have you been growing cannabis?
I So February, March, that was hitting 3 years. So I'm just slightly over 3 years growing. And I've only been, I started out as I wasn't even getting into it for my own consumption. I was doing it for my wife. She was going to the dispo all the time. And anyone that's shopped at an Illinois dispo knows you leave broke pretty quickly. The prices are outrageous. The taxes are outrageous. And she wanted to start growing. Actually, it started with she had some bag seed from her father that was kept in like a baggie in his truck for like 15 years. And of course, like even like a super experienced grower is going to have a hard time getting anything out of those seeds. But she was like, I'll try. She got pretty discouraged, and it's a lot of work. And I am one that likes new hobbies, and I dive in deep pretty quick. So I was like, all right, I'll try that out. That didn't work out. So I started growing her favorite strain at the time, which is at that time it was Shangri-La from Jinx Proof that she found at one of the dispos that she really liked. And yeah, it just kind of took off. It scratched that itch in my brain to keep on learning, and just diving more and more into it. So yeah, a little over 3 years now.
Nice.
I haven't stopped. I've only been, the number of tents I've had have fluctuated a little bit. But I've always had at least one tent going for those 3 years.
Sweet. What type of nutrients do you use in your garden?
It fluctuates. I would say the ones I've consistently stayed with the most is the build a soil method. I am, even when I was growing, even before cannabis, when I was growing like vegetables and stuff, at my heart, I am an organic grower, natural inputs, attempting to close the loop as much as you can. And so that was like, there was no question that's the path I was going to take for cannabis as well. Just for what my philosophy is and what I embrace, that just works well. It helps that I'm also lazy, and organics is probably the laziest damn thing you could ever do. Despite what people say, it's a lazy method of growing. And so I think what really made it approachable for cannabis to grow big, healthy plants is the build a soil method. So I used a lot of their products, their schedule. That at least is a good starting point, because it can kind of teach you the inputs that you can use and then the frequency. Although now I'm transitioning and still doing organics, but I am learning other methods of more targeted products rather than the buffet. And Build a Soil even says it's like, give them a buffet and they eat what they eat. And they give you the Build a Soil method gives you a big buffet, probably too much. And so I'm learning now how to have those same natural inputs, but more targeted for the outcome I want. Like if I want to do something that increases bacterial growth or fungal growth, or what stage of the life of the plant and so on. But it's all been organic. And then that's in my beds, but then I have my small pot tent, and I'm not one of those people that's going to be trying to do like straight organic methods in small little pots. I see people do that, and they can do it well. Like Rev over at Your Average Grow, he does like his solo cups and stuff, and he does it great. And he feeds them teas a lot and does all sorts of things. And that's just too much work for me. So I end up leaning on rooted leaf nutrients, which is a liquid feed. There's a lot of bottles. There's like 8 bottles. Don't have to use them all. You can mix and match and formulate your own things for the response that you want. But I just follow their schedule pretty strictly. And in the small pots, just give everything a heavy feed. You can't really, within reason, you can't burn the plants with it. And so I just use that because it is still natural inputs. It's all fermented extracts. So like anyone that's grown organically understands that, because they use like from fermented plant juices and stuff, or they get like comfrey extracts, and that's a pretty common thing. Rooted leaf is just similar to that, but with more science behind it, I guess. And he sources a lot of unique inputs into things like special green tea leaves and lavender leaves that came from some like small sustainable farm in some area that has a proper kind of shade. Like it's weird how he gets into sourcing these ingredients, or like even the CalMag that he has was like made from orange peels, which you would never think orange peels for CalMag, like, but that's what it is. So that's what I use in the small pots. So I think that like out of all my tents, it's all natural. Some may be marketed as organic, but it's all natural all the time. In one way or another, dry or liquid. A lot of worm castings, a lot of compost, and then some unique potions here or there.
There you go. So, what has been your favorite thing you've learned about growing cannabis?
I have two things. One is learning it just because as an individual, I grew from this learning. It's the intention you put into the plant. I truly believe the plant listens. I think there is a connection. Like it's different. Even though like growing a tomato plant, growing a cannabis plant, you're still growing something that has fruits at the end. I think the response I've seen with cannabis is different. There's just something I couldn't give you any technical data about what's changing. It just feels like it's different. And I've been more intentional with those plants than anything else ever that I've grown. And I also see that if there's a bad day that I go in there with some bad intentions, things don't always go out. They'll go the way I want them to. The plant responds negatively or I do something stupid. So I think that's the biggest thing I've learned is to slow down and go in with, and there's been times where I've just avoided my tents because I can't go down there like and do this. So I think learning how to be mindful, learning how to have intention with what I'm doing has been one of the most beneficial things I've learned with growing cannabis. It is even the same reason why like the Spiteful grow, I think it's been a year since I decided not to grow that breeder. And it took me a year to get over my feelings, to know I can now grow it with proper intentions. I wasn't even going to try to pop a seed if I was going to have bad intentions anymore. And that's different for me. I never thought like that when growing.
Yeah, no, I've never had that moment it's always been a healing kind of deal for me when it started a seed.
Yeah. And I had to be in the right mind spot, the place in my mind to do it. And I think I am now. But like when you grow like cucumbers or tomatoes or anything, like I don't give a shit. I'm popping a seed. I'm putting it in the dirt and it's going to grow. Like I never thought much about it, but cannabis taught me to be different.
Right.
That's like a personal journey learning. And then to scratch my just knowledge, mental learning, it's lights. That's what I like a lot. It's lights and soil. Those are probably my two things. And just learning there's a lot more complexities to it than I thought before. Even when I started growing like a few years ago, there's a lot there and a lot I don't know still.
Right. Well, what advice would you give to an aspiring cannabis grower who is looking to start their own garden?
Probably. I mean, something along the lines of don't overdo it going out of the gate. We all want to. We all want big, beautiful plants with a lot of yield and a lot of bags we can share with people. And that's great. That'll come. Don't start. Get your win. Get your win off the bat. And that'll light the fire to keep you going. I think there's people that overcomplicate and overthink it starting out. And they want to optimize every little bit. And they want to and I was this person. So I understand firsthand how this is, but they want to get that big, powerful light. They want to do their high stress training. They want to fertigate. They want to do all sorts of stuff. And I would just say like out of any new grower, and I'm going to assume like, let's say they want to do organics, get yourself a 15-gallon pot, put a good quality soil in there, a decent light, water it, keep it happy. That's all you do. Your first growth. That's it. And Don't turn your light up too high. Just give it water and love and just let that thing grow. Then think about what you're going to do the next time. But the first time, get your win and don't overcomplicate it. There's a lot to dive into, and there's a lot of things that people will try to push you to do, and you just don't need to do it, especially at first.
Oh, yeah. That's wonderful advice. I appreciate that. It's really good. Well, are you ready for the hot seat?
Sure.
All right, buddy. All right. Which band or artist did you see for your first concert and venue?
Metallica.
Hell yeah.
And I was 20 something. My early 20s was my first concert. I was pretty sheltered until then. But yeah, it was Metallica. That was fun. That was a loud, fun concert. That was back when we still had some energy to them.
Right. Heck yeah. All right. What was your favorite song when you were 16?
I'm trying to think back to 16. That was a while ago. Probably Fade to Black. It was either Fade to Black or Fear of the Dark by Iron Maiden. It was one of those that's always been top of my list. That's what I remember. And yeah, I'll probably go. Yeah, I'll say Fade to Black by Metallica.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. What was your first audio tape you purchased?
Def Leppard, Hysteria.
Hell
yes. Yeah. That is still one of my favorite albums. I love Def Leppard. I don't care what people say. But yeah, I remember that cassette.
Hell yeah.
Well, now I'm trying to think. I don't know. It's either that or it was Vanilla Ice. It was one of those, which also was a great album. But I'm going to go with Def Leppard was my first.
Awesome, man. Do you play any musical instruments?
Not anymore. And I want to get back into this. But I did play saxophone for a few years in band. And then I did dabble with guitar for a little bit. And I really enjoy music. And I want to get back into it. I need something to do for the artistic side of my brain. So I want to get back into learning to play the guitar. But yeah.
I was in band too. I played trumpet.
All right.
So.
Yeah, it was a fun time. It taught me a lot about music. I encourage everyone, any young kid in school, to attempt to pick up an instrument. I don't care what it is. Just do it. It will teach you something about yourself and about music, and they should try. Absolutely.
Have you met a musical artist or band in person? This could be at a meet and greet or out in the wild.
Yeah, that's not going to be as I'm going to catch shit for this one. Macklemore. I met him.
Really?
Yeah. I worked for a company. Well, I mean, it was a very brief interaction. But I worked for a company and we had a work week in Portland, which is where he's from. And somehow they convinced him to do a private show for like the 500 of us or whatever. And so, I was right next to him while he performed his show. And then I was able to introduce myself right afterwards. I think that is probably the only musical person that I have met.
All right. What is the most surprising opener you've ever seen perform live?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What is the most surprising opener you've seen perform live?
I'm trying to remember openers in general. You know what? I think what was a surprise to me, even though I've listened to them quite a few times, is Alice in Chains. And this was maybe 10 years ago. No, maybe less than 10 years ago. This is when like Guns N' Roses was becoming popular again and doing tours. And they had Alice in Chains open. And of course, it's not with Laney. William Duvall, I think, is the singer now. I think that's his name. And I realized how much it is. The sound of Alice in Chains is not a single person, because they sounded like exactly the same. And I'm like, what is going on? This is just too scary how close they are. And then I never realized that there's a lot of Alice in Chains live versions that I listened to that were actually recorded more recently and wasn't the original singer. And I'm like, but they sound the same. Like, why is it not? And it's because it was never about one singer. I think who's the other guy? Jerry Cantrell. I think
Jerry
it's really
Cantrell.
him. Like it was the combination, and he is just provides that melody, that harmony. Like it's just something about it. And I think that was the biggest surprise I've seen from an opener. They were the opening band, but I actually enjoyed them more than watching Guns N' Roses. And it was just watching how they worked together to perform a song, and just realizing it was the collective that did it, not just a single person.
Right. Excellent answer, sir. Which band or artist has been your favorite to see perform live in the venue?
Probably another one that'll get crap. Linkin Park, probably. I am a big fan of Linkin Park. It just combines all the styles of music that I like. And I enjoyed the energy. Well, that was more for the energy at the concert. Iron Maiden is good to see. Super theatrical. It's awesome. There's like 30 different set changes. It's like, it's a performance in itself, just watching it. So, yeah, it's one of them.
Awesome. If you could make your own musical festival lineup, who would be your 3 headliners? They could be dead or alive.
Oh, crap. This would probably go all over the place. I mean, if I had a choice of 3 and I didn't have to think about the cohesion between them and making them very similar, it would be probably Pink Floyd. I want to say Fish just to get under Grateful Skin, but Pink Floyd, Eminem, and Rammstein.
Oh my goodness, that would be wild, dude! Oh yeah, I'll come to that one.
Yeah, but it definitely would. I don't even know what you would call that kind of tour.
Oh, dude,
but I think that there would be like, I would have Eminem get the crowd going, Rammstein get them really angry, and then you get all your energy out of you, and then Pink Floyd comes on and ends the night. And there's a lot of lasers and lights and just peaceful. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, I'll definitely come to the Howling Music Festival for sure. All right. Which song instantly hypes you up?
Man, these are definitely put you on the hot seat with these, because I never thought about what hypes me up. Definitely anything by Dropkick Murphys.
Hell yeah.
Or Flogging Molly. Like I have, like I guess Chutes and Ladders by Korn too.
Oh, that's such a great song.
That'll get me going. There's just something. There's just the build up at the beginning of that song is just, there is something about it. But yeah, I think anything that feels like there's just something that touches I want to say like my soul, but like if it is foot stomping, knock a bar stool over, grab your beer, chug it, and you're going to go get into some shit.
Right. That
type of music just gets me for some reason. And yeah, so it has to be like some Irish band or something.
There you go, dude. Excellent. What's a band or artist that you feel is completely underrated?
Hanson. Musical geniuses. I mean, like, that's probably like off the cuff. That's probably one of the bands that I would say. I listen to a lot of, I guess, mainstream stuff, so they're already pretty overrated at that point. So I'm trying to think back to something that just it would strike someone as a surprise that I would say, and I think it would be Hanson. I think that musically they were actually really good.
All right. Name a band or artist that you would like to see live. It's somebody you've never seen before.
Maybe kind of going back to that foot stomping. Maybe Mumford and Sons. Just I get that, like, I don't know what they call it, but that is it a kick drum? I forget, but he's just standing there and like it's the singer that he's just pounding. It's a pedal on a drum that he's just sitting there and just gets you going. I would like to see them live. Yeah, I think I would go with or Dave Matthews.
There you go. All right. Which came first, the cannabis plant or the seed?
Oh boy. I would say the plant. Because it was not cannabis before that point. It was something else. And then finally at some point, no, I guess it would. Oh, I don't know. I guess it depends on how deep you want to think about this one.
Right.
Kind of reminds me of like a fractal. The more you zoom in, it just like if as more as you think about what came first and you're trying to order those things, it's like I'll just say I give up. I'll say plant.
All right. All right. This is a new question. If you got bit by a spider, name 3 completely random superpowers you would get.
Bit by a spider. So I would be able to climb like a spider does all over, upside down on walls, whatever. I'm just going to say what Spider-Man really is. It's the superpowers. I mean, like, I can't really think of.
Yeah, I was going to say it's just completely random, like being able to cook popcorn.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like just completely like
something
random stuff, like without having to use a microwave.
I probably would. It'd be cool to have the superpower to make everything silent at once. Ooh. When you get sensory overload, it's just like stop, and it's quiet.
Oh, that would be cool.
And that's it for a second. To be transported to a forest with a stream running through it by myself.
Ooh.
So I can get. It's funny how everything I can think of as special powers, it's to make things quiet and peaceful. It's just there's so much noise going on in my head that's what I would like. And then probably the third one, only because this is really deep in my life, is and it's maybe corny or I don't know, maybe not a superpower. It's kind of I would cure everyone with type 1 diabetes.
There you go.
Because my son has that. It is something to learn how to try to keep someone alive with it. And I would abolish it from the planet.
That'd be awesome. Heck yeah. All right. Which terps and or smells are your favorite?
I like citrus gas. I like, those are my favorite. It reminds me a bit of at least the citrusy side. And what's got me into smoking was my wife came home from the dispo, and before I even started smoking, I would just like the smell of the packs that she was bringing home. So I would smell everything. And finally I came across one that smelled like hops that they use in beer. And it's just that citrusy, oily, gassy smell to it. And that's still what I'm chasing.
Heck yeah. Which cultivar would you pair with an album?
Dosey Does with I don't know what album this is on, but the song, and maybe it's named after the song, I forget. It's Shine On You Crazy Diamond by Pink Floyd, because Dosey Do was the strain that got me smoking. And the reason why is it quieted my brain and made me stare at a table for an hour. Like I was just blissfully dumb for an hour. It had no feelings, nothing, just no racing thoughts. It was just calmness. And Shine On You Crazy Diamond's always been a song that has just made me super calm.
There you go. Do you have a favorite pothead memory?
That may be it right there. It's what I'm chasing. It's like, I want that feeling again. Like I said earlier, like everything I smoke now gives me a little bit of anxiety or just doesn't hit the spot. But that was the thing that roped me in. And that is probably my favorite memory.
All right. Who was the first Gromy you met in the community?
Jay Saw, because I showed up at his house.
Oh, right. There you go.
Oh, yeah. He was the one that greeted me at the front door.
That's awesome. Let's see here. What was your first cannabis event?
I have never been to a cannabis event.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Really, I've only been smoking for 4 years, growing only for 3.
Right.
I've never went to a cannabis event, and it's Illinois too. Like, so they're few and far between. And I've never traveled for one. So I'll just guess the only cannabis event is the meetup at Jason's house.
There we go. That's a great answer. All right. Which Gromy from the community are you looking forward to meeting?
There's a lot for different reasons. So in September, there's going to be a lot of us in one place. And I wouldn't say, like, I don't want to put like someone at the top, but one of the people that I am looking forward to is, oh shit. This is hard. It's like picking your favorite child. So I would say all for different reasons, but it probably would be, I'm just going to put Rev and Johnny on the same pedestal. Let's just see my co-host, because they're just the ones that I've had the most interactions with that I haven't met. And we share something together. So I think that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Awesome. What's your go-to method to consume cannabis?
These days, it's the dry herb vape. I have the Mighty Plus, and nice. I don't prefer it for flavor. I'm really, really sensitive to the burnt popcorn taste, and I know like people rate the dry herb vaporizers in terms of like the popcorn taste, and they say the Mighty is the one that's the least offensive, but it's still it's after like every first hit tastes almost the same, maybe slight differences. And then it quickly turns to popcorn for me. But also that's a problem with me because I don't taste smoke terribly well. I can smell better than I can taste it. And so that's why it really doesn't matter consumption wise. Like if it has the popcorn flavor, it's like I'm more looking for the effects anyways. So yeah, it's a dry herb.
Nice. What's a stoner myth that you think is total bullshit?
That they're lazy.
Right.
I've never seen more ambitious people. I've seen a hell of a lot more lazier drunks than I have stoners. I can't think of a single person in the community that all I imagine is they just get high and do nothing. Everyone is always doing way more than I don't even know how they're doing. I envy that they can go be a stoner and do those things. I think that's an absolute fucking myth.
All right. Who are some of your favorite breeders?
For photos, well, I mean, I'm going to put like, I'll just say overall, like Green Guy. I mean, both photos and autos. I've really enjoyed the things that I've grown from him, and he's an awesome dude. I really like Joint Custody. I've grown 4 of his strains now, and I have like 6 more in the seed vault to grow. And they are absolutely by far the terpiest things I have ever grown. But it's also, I am a sucker for blueberry stuff. So, and he has blueberry blues things running through his stuff. And so I really enjoy it. And I also appreciate him as a person. Jinx Proof is a favorite breeder more for the person, like not to say anything about his genetics are great, but him as a person. My oldest son is autistic. His son is autistic. He's big into the autism awareness and advocacy. So I think he's a really good person, just genuinely a good person. I like to see him. He posts on Instagram periodically he does like this little message in the morning or at night, like when he's in bed, and he just gives like a good night little message to people. And I think that's awesome. It kind of reminds me of like Istig that comes in with his good morning salutations. It just reminds me of the same vibe. And then of course we got Alabrije. I mean, just an all around awesome creative dude that's for the community. So yeah, I definitely would go Green Guy, Joint, Jinx Proof, and Alabrije.
Nice. Do you have a favorite cannabis related movie and or TV show?
I could say for TV show, I really like that Disjointed show. I think it's on Netflix. What's her face? Kathy Bates or whatever is like the lead person in it. And that's just, it's funny. I will say though, for movies, God, this is going to get me banned from the community. I hate stoner films. I didn't say hate. I just don't get into them. Like Harold and Kumar and Dazed and Confused and or just like anything that has like any kind of like stoner type thing in it. I've never really, Pineapple Express I can't get into. No. I do enjoy watching Superbad while I'm high. That's a funny time. But yeah, stoner flicks. Yeah, I'm not really. I'm a shitty person. I can't get into them. I just can't. Nothing bad about them, and even like they just never appealed to me as much. Like, I wish I could. I wish I can get into some of that humor and stuff, but no, it's not for me.
Gotcha. Do you have a favorite cannabis podcast, and who is it?
Oh, you know what? I listen every Sunday to Your Average Grow. It's my favorite. Other than that, there's quite a few ones that I listen to. I would say that I gravitate a lot more to cultivation side podcasts than anything. And I would say my favorite probably is the I forget the name. It's the one that Tad Hussey does from Kiss Organics, the Cultivation and Science podcast or whatever. Because I nerd out about growing. And even though his is like general growing topics as well, it's a very much cannabis oriented. So I think that's probably my favorite to listen to.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, my next segment is Think a Grow Me. Each week I thank a Grow Me in the community. We all have tough times in our lives. It's nice to hear some thoughtful words from somebody. The words go a long way. And we kind of need that reassurance. And also I'd like to encourage you to thank a Grow Me as well. But I'm going to go ahead and thank you since I have you here. First off, I'm going to thank you for coming to Meeting of the G's. I know that you stepped out of your comfort zone by coming out and meeting us. I know there was resistance for quite some time because we had our little group chat, it went on for a while, but you came and you were a trooper. You hung out the whole day, and I was so shocked because you mentioned the first thing you mentioned to us is like, I'm only going to smoke a little bit. That's it. But I'm only smoking a little bit. I'm like, cool, no problem, dude. We're not gonna pressure you to do anything you don't want to do. So whatever you want to do. But every single time, like we would smoke something, you at least take a hit or two, and at least you were comfortable with us, and it was nice. And I certainly appreciate that. But also, I would like to thank you for your generosity, not only to the gifts that you brought to the meeting of the G's, but also the time that you've put in on the circle over at Yak. I've truly enjoyed listening to your insights on growing, and I appreciate that.
Thanks. Oh, wow. You can get me all like emotional. Thank you.
Oh, sorry about that. But yeah, I'd encourage you to like think of Grow Me. Anybody you have in mind.
This kind of goes back to like, it's hard just to single out a person because I could say a lot, but I think probably Ganik. And the reason why is that dude is just a wealth of information that he wants to share. And I really appreciate, like, he's really active in our, like posting all the resources he finds in like our PDF books channel and stuff, that where it just embraces what like Yag's about is free, is information that's not kept behind closed doors. It's free for all. We're all building on the shoulders of others. And he definitely embraces that and tries to share the DIY type information or just understanding more into it. So yeah, I'm really appreciative of him being in everyone's community. He's all over the place. And I really appreciate him. And then I'll just turn it right back to you. I really appreciate you and what you're doing. What's unique about your podcast that's different than others. You really try to take a moment, and we can see it with the questions and the intentions behind them. It's really and they're not even like all growing related. Like you just drilled me on a bunch of music related things. It's nothing about growing. And I really appreciate that, where it's a conversation more than, you touch on the growing, but you touch on the person, and you give them a platform to talk about themselves and to open up.
Right.
And then that just gets it in front of other people to get to know that person more. So I appreciate that opportunity that you're giving people, rather than just like, you could have had me on and drilled me on like soil science for an hour. And right. that could have been cool, but it's not me. Right. And it really is clear about the questions that you have. It really tries to dig into just a little bit deeper. That's what's behind the surface. And so I appreciate that as well, the uniqueness of that type of style.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, I'd also would like to thank Hibetic and JSaw. We're making plans to meet up in November in Louisville. So the last Murder by Death concert.
Oh, that's going to be a sad time.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Are you also a big fan?
I mainly started listening because of JSaw. Mm-hmm. I'd heard of them before, but if you've ever talked to JSaw about Murder by Death, you pretty much kind of get hooked in. Yeah. It's because he will break down and explain different songs to you, and at the right moments, and it's such a wonderful experience. So I definitely want to go to the last concert. I actually had an extra ticket, and I reached out to Hibetic, and I was like, "Hey man, I got an extra ticket. Do you want to go?" He was like, "Yeah." So yeah, we're all going to meet up in Louisville. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
That'll be. That will be a very touching experience to see, especially them go through that, because they know what it means. Like, it's not just seeing a band they really like. It is part of them. Like, anyone that goes to like, what is it, Colorado, and stays at the hotel, the Stanley, and sees that, like, you are a different kind of person that follows them and feels their music a bit differently. And so for them to know that they're going to see the last show, I think it would be similar if I took one of the bands I like the most and went and saw their last show. There's just going to be there's no more to it after that. That's it.
Right.
And so there's going to be a lot of emotions there. So I can't wait to hear everyone talk about their experience about that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely going to have them on later on this year after the concert. And
yeah.
So we can talk about the experience.
And now I remember, I wish I remembered this at the time. Now you asked a question of like who I want to see live. I think that was one of your questions. I don't know why it slipped me, but there's two: Sleep Token and Ghost.
Oh yes.
I know how much. Yeah. For different reasons. It's actually not as much about the music. Well, it is about the music. It's the theatrics from Ghost is very much like on par of why I like Iron Maiden and stuff. It's a performance in itself. And there's a story behind it. If you ever follow the whole story of the personas, like there's a whole thing behind it. Right. And then Sleep Token, I just think I can't call them an underrated band like I did like Hanson. Like Sleep Token is pretty overrated right now. It's like the hot shit for some people. I know like Grateful listens to them all the time. That drummer is just a beast. He is a drum machine. I love it. I would love to see him play live. Anyways, that's just you just reminded me somehow that reminded me of those two bands.
I appreciate you saying that. I've actually seen Ghost in Nashville at the Marathon Music Works.
Oh,
it's Marathon Music Works is a really cool place. It used to be a automotive manufacturing plant in the early 1900s. So it's the old brick building is still there, and they gutted it out and created this music venue. It's a standing venue, but I seen Ghost there, and I think it was like the 8th singer in the timeline of Ghost at the time. But it was a really cool experience. That theatrical part for a small venue like that was really interesting to see.
And it's great. Like if you get into like 80s style rock, theatric type stuff, they'll fit that niche for you. Right. And that type of music is so different than who he is. Like if you see the music he gets into, and like he used to embrace satanic worship. He got into thrash metal type stuff. He was in bands like that. And then you see him talk, you would not match those two up. And then you see Ghost, and it's just completely different than the other. Like it's interesting to see the sides of what's his name? Tobias Forge is the main singer. He's the person behind. Like I think some of the band members change and stuff, but it's him that comes up with all of this. I would love to see that.
Absolutely, yeah. And then Sleep Token, I'm actually going out to Denver in October to see them.
Really?
Yeah, they're performing at the Ball Arena.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I recently got into them. I just ran into them through Spotify one day, and I shared it with my buddy out in Colorado, and he's like, "Dude, I love that band. Like, I want to go see them." I'm like, "All right, well, whenever they come, let me know." Whether it was either going to be here or there, and it's going to be there. So I'm just going to fly out and check it out.
For me, it's the drummer.
Yep.
I like to watch. There's a YouTube channel called Drumeo, and they'll bring in like famous drummers to perform one of their songs in like a little studio, but they also bring in drummers to listen to the drumless tracks of other songs and then fill it in, which if you haven't seen the Chad Smith 30 Seconds to Mars one, you need to go. That is a genius at play right there. I don't know how he did it. He did it, whatever. But they had the drummer from Sleep Token there performing one of their songs. And I'm just like, that's the first time I heard them. I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, I don't know. Like I can only compare it to like a very precise drum machine, but it's a human doing it, and just the rhythm and the hard punching of it. It's just, I was like, okay, I'm hooked now. Like that's cool.
Right.
Yeah. Well, so awesome.
Well, we could go ahead and talk about upcoming events. Do you have any upcoming events that you're looking forward to this year?
Well, I mean, absolutely. The Alebrije pop up in September. It's great to meet Alebrije. It's going to be great to see the community, and it's kind of turned into like a combined event of like Yag's 3rd birthday with the Alebrije pop up. It's a sold out pop up, and I know like we're going to all get together at not all of us, but a lot of us are, whoever wants to come is going to get together at Stoney's for a bonfire. And then we're going to do the pop up. It's going to be a lot of great times and laughs and a lot of people together. We got, I mean, everyone from like a lot of people from the YAG community, the Alabria community, the Grateful Nerd community, even two people. We got G3 and Captain Autoflower from Cultivation Conversation coming to the pop up. So it's just bringing us all together in one place, and that I'm really looking forward to. I mean, I'm anxious as hell. It's going to be, I'll probably be the odd one sitting in a corner once in a while, quiet. It's going to be a lot to take in, but I am absolutely looking forward to that. And then I'm also looking forward to my oldest son is getting married at the end of August, which is going to be something. So I get to see him get married to a wonderful woman. And I also get to go to Vermont, which is like one of my favorite places. So
congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah. I love Colorado.
Mountains, nature. I'm not much of like a hiker or a kayaker or anything. I just like being around it. I like the opportunity for it.
Absolutely.
Kind of like a green guy going and checking out waterfalls and stuff. If I can hear running water, I don't like being in water, but I like hearing the running water and seeing it in the mountains and different culture. Just everything's so different. So I would love to go to Colorado sometime. I actually, when we were looking to move, we thought about Colorado, but it is stupid expensive.
It is.
No freaking way could I ever afford anything that I want out there. It's like the California of the middle of the U.S. It's ridiculously expensive, but I would like to go to Colorado. I've been to Colorado only once, but it was get off a plane, go to a client site, stay at a hotel, go back on a plane. Like I never got to see anything. The closest I saw was down the highway. I saw a mountain. Like that's all I experienced with Colorado. So I definitely would like to try that again.
I'll tell you a spot to go to that I love going to is Evergreen, Colorado.
Okay.
It's just west of Denver. It's right in the mountains. There's a small lake in like the valley of the mountains. So it's like it's all surrounded. It's just beautiful scenery. And it's really cool, like even during the wintertime, because it freezes over and people will be out there walking on the ice and ice fishing and stuff. So it's really neat.
That's awesome. Yeah. Someday I'll go out there and give it a good shot to see it. I've been to Vermont a couple times, I like to visit. I would never live in Vermont.
Right.
Or I would retire to Vermont. I would never be of working age and be in Vermont. It's just not the right place. But to visit, I can't wait. And so Colorado will be on the list someday. I know my wife wants to go out there too. So
absolutely.
Cool.
Well, I'm actually heading up to Ohio, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Virginia, starting like July 3rd.
Well, I'm sorry about Ohio. Well, I mean, the people are good, but that state is something.
Oh, good Lord. I love Ohio. It's gorgeous up there. I'm not a big fan of the toll roads up there.
That's all I've experienced really of Ohio, which made me enough. Like when I drive to Vermont, it's just the longest part of the trip. It's like, this is terrible. It's like, not that Indiana is that much better to go through, but Ohio just keeps going. And I would like to get out there one time. We have a lot of people in the community from Ohio. Thanks to our missionary work from Flam out there.
Absolutely.
It would be really nice to experience that cannabis culture in Ohio. That would be fun.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to try to meet up with a few Gromies on the way. So I think we're meeting up with Johnny and Big Green Guy, Nerd Grows, Grateful, I think Too Tall. There's a bunch of people. Oh, Matt Frack, yeah. So
is that the free? Is that so? You're going to see Johnny? Is that the Freedom Fest?
Yes.
Freedom.
Yes.
Fest?
Freedom Fest. Yes.
That'll be fun. That'd be cool to be on the orchard.
Yeah, I'm looking
good
forward
stories
to it.
About the last time everyone got there.
Right. Yeah, I've heard a lot of stories as well. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I was going to just check out the other states as well while I'm in the area. And I think Green Guy, we're going to try to go to a waterfall at some point.
Other than just driving through the upstate New York, I've been to the Adirondacks, which were amazing. So I don't know how close to any of that you will be in New York, but I look forward to the stories and if you got any pictures or anything from it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to try to go to a few parks in the area. So, yeah. Heck yeah, dude. Well, this is the end of the show. I was going to go ahead and give you the opportunity to give out your socials.
Yeah, so I'm Howlingbuds. I am on Instagram under that. I'm on all the Discords under that. I mean, I'm mostly in the Your Average Grow Discord, but I do try to, I can't keep up with all the Discords, but I do try to pop in from time to time to the different ones. But if you want to chat with me or see what I'm up to, it's usually on the Your Average Grow Discord. And catch the podcast, and we talk about our gardens. And yeah, it's Howlingbuds everywhere.
Oh yeah. Well, everyone listening and watching, thank you. I hope you're out there having a wonderful time. Thank you, Howling, for joining the show.
Thanks for having me here.